Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about cranial bone, and here at the side you can see the diagrammatic representation of skulls showing different bones in different color for the reference. So let's start the video with the introduction. Cranial bones are 8 bones that make up the cranium, the portion of skull that enclose and safeguard the brain. These bones are interconnected by sutures which are immovable joints in adults who are flexible during infancy to allow growth. Talking about what are the bones in the cranium, they include frontal bone, parietal bone, temporal bone, occipital bone, and sphenoid bone and ethmoid bone. Now let's talk about these bones one by one. First we have is frontal bone. That is unpaired bone of skull. That means there will be only one frontal bone in every skull. And here in the diagram you can see the yellow color bone in front is frontal bone. Location is forehead region and upper part of the eye socket. Function: it forms the interior portion of the skull and houses the frontal air sinuses. Also gives shape to the forehead. Next bone of the cranium we have is parietal bone. That is paired bone. There will be two parietal bone in every skull. And here in the diagram you can see the blue color bone at the top of skull is the parietal bone. Location: it is either side of the skull behind the frontal bone and in front of occipital bone. Function: it forms the roof and upper sides of cranial cavity. These bones meet at the sagittal suture. Next bone of cranium we have is temporal bone. As you can see in the diagram, the orange color bone is temporal bone. It is pair bone. That means there will be two temporal bone in every skull. Location: lateral part of skull near the ears. Function: to protect structures of ear and provide attachment for jaw and neck muscles. Include landmarks like the mastoid and styloid process and house part of the inner ear. Next cranial bone we have is occipital bone. That is unpaired bone, and in diagram you can see the green color bone at the back side of skull is occipital bone. Location: back and base of skull. Function: it contains the foramen magnum. That is a large opening that allows spinal cord to pass through and connect to the brain. It also provides attachment for neck muscles. Further in bones of cranium we have a sphenoid bone. That is unpaired bone. In diagram you can see the pink color bone is sphenoid bone. It is located in the middle of skull in front of temporal bone. Function: it is often called as keystone of the cranium because it articulates with all other cranial bones. It forms part of base and sides of skull and supports the pituitary gland within a depression called the sella turcica. Next bone we have is ethmoid bone. As you can see in the diagram, the red color bone is ethmoid bone. It is unpaired bone. Location: it is located between the eyes behind the nasal bone. Function: it contributes to the nasal cavity and medial wall of orbit. It includes structures like the cribriform plate for olfactory nerves and crustaceae, that is the brain attachment point. Now let's talk about importance of cranial bone. These bones not only protect your brain but also support facial structures and sensory organs. They also anchor muscles for facial expression and chewing. They also house air-filled sinuses that lighten the skull and enhance voice resonance. And this was all about the bones of the cranium. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you for watching.